In 1963, Rangers CEO and NHL board member William Jennings, who later had a trophy, the William Jennings Trophy, awarded to the goalie or goalies with the lowest goals against average in the league, introduced the idea of expanding the league to the American West Coast by adding 2 new teams for the 1964-1965 season. His defense was that the rivaling Western Hockey League, abbreviated to the WHL, was intending to operate in the near future across the U.S. He also said that this would truly make their league national and therefore improve their chances of coming to the U.S. television market, creating a deal with CBS Sports. At the time, the other board members and franchise owners rejected this original idea, but in 1966, they reconsidered when they met in that year of February and doubled the league's franchises. They awarded teams to the following U.S. cities: Los Angeles, Minnesota, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, San Francisco, and St. Louis.
When the NHL expanded from 6 teams to 12, they put the original 6 teams into a division and the 6 expansion teams into their own division. The existing teams were put into the Eastern Division, while the new expansion teams were put into the Western Division, to create 2 rivaling hockey divisions within the NHL.
The 6 new teams were the Los Angeles Kings, the Minnesota North Stars, the Oakland Seals, Philadelphia Flyers, Pittsburgh Penguins, and the most successful of these 6, at least at first, the St. Louis Blues, who made to the finals in each of their first 3 NHL seasons, but failed to win a single game during that round. The first season of this 12-team league saw the Montreal Canadiens as the Stanley Cup winners from the new Eastern Division. St. Louis Blues, who from the new Western Division. First non-original 6 victors, the Philadelphia Flyers, who won it 7 years after they expanded into the league, and they beat the Boston Bruins in the finals. They repeated this victory a year later by beating the Buffalo Sabres. This was the first instance of a Stanley Cup final between 2 expansion teams.
After the NHL doubled the league from 6 to 12 teams, they added an additional 6 teams by the year of 1974, which brought the league to a number of 18 teams, the highest in their history. This was in part because of the rising competition from the World Hockey Association, which we mentioned in Puck Drop's History of the NHL docu-series first episode, which you can find on our channel. When the WHA was becoming popular in the 1970s, many popular and high-level players descended to the WHA due to appealing reasons. The most famous of these defections was Bobby Hull, who signed a $2.75 million United States dollar contract in 1972. This set the bar for raising player contracts dramatically and included the involvement of the National Hockey League Players Association, which we know abbreviated to the NHLPA.
WHA, although had short-lived success, didn't make it far into history, as in 1979, the league officially closed its doors and ceased operations. However, when this happened, the NHL expanded by absorbing 4 of the WHA's franchises, making them their own. These were the Edmonton Oilers, the Hartford Whalers, the Quebec Nordiques, and the Winnipeg Jets, not to be confused with the current-day Winnipeg Jets, as this version of the Winnipeg Jets moved to Arizona to become the Coyotes.
At this point, one of the 6 original expansion teams had ceased operations, as the Oakland Seals failed to find sustained success and folded in as the Cleveland Barons in 1978. After the NHL absorbed 4 WHA teams, their total number of franchises was now 21, and made up a total of 4 divisions: the Patrick Division, the Smythe Division, the Adams Division, and the Norris Division. The NHL continued to have 21 teams for over a decade, until they decided to retry entering the Bay Area, the expansion of the San Jose Sharks, in 1991.
For a somewhat long time, the Soviet Union dominated international ice hockey competition, winning virtually every championship possible for close to 2 decades. However, things started to fall apart when young Russian superstar Alex Mogilny, who was the first ever Russian to defect to the NHL in 1988 from his home country. Mogilny and many other important members of the Buffalo Sabres organization risked their lives getting Alex to the U.S. If you would like to know more about this very important subject in hockey history, there is an extremely informing documentary on the Sportsnet YouTube channel called Defector, which we will link in the description of this video below. What Mogilny did started a movement and is a major factor in why we have Russian superstars in the game of hockey today. Examples of these players are the world-famous Capitals player Alex Ovechkin, Tampa Bay Lightning well-known player Nikita Kucherov, and Vladimir Tarasenko. A ton of the greatest players to ever play the game of hockey first entered the league during this era. First off, we can't go any further without mentioning the GOAT himself, Wayne Gretzky. Gretzky quickly established himself as one of the greatest to ever play the game, as he won an unprecedented 8 straight Hart trophies in 9 seasons with the Edmonton Oilers. In this time period, he accumulated almost 1,700 points in just under 700 games in Edmonton, before he was traded in perhaps one of the most famous trades in sports history to the Los Angeles Kings for a ton of money, draft picks, and even some great roster players, including Jimmy Carson, who scored 100 points in his first season with the Oilers.
In 1984, another player that some would argue was the greatest of all time entered the league, as Mario Lemieux was drafted with the first overall pick by the Pittsburgh Penguins. However, it almost wasn't so, as the Devils were one loss away from getting that number 1 pick. If you would like to know more about this topic, go visit ENJ Hockey Bros, as they have a 2-part video talking extensively about this unique situation. Gretzky is the only player to ever score 200 plus points in a single season. While Lemieux came close, as in the 1988-89 season, he scored an amazing 199 points in 76 games. Mario Lemieux had many health and injury problems throughout his career, including a cancer in 1993, and missing 3 whole seasons and many more games due to back problems he had throughout his career. We believe that if Lemieux never missed so many games through his career, he would have come close to breaking Gretzky's goal and points record, as he was on pace for over 200 points in 5 seasons. Gretzky only scored 200 plus.
The NHL added 2 additional franchises in 1992 as the Ottawa Senators and the Tampa Bay Lightning joined the league that fall. Do not confuse the Ottawa Senators with the old Ottawa Senators who folded in the early 1900s. This was an additional new franchise. This brought the league to 24 additional teams, again the highest in the league's history. There were many more teams on the way in the coming years to now, when the NHL is just about to add their additional 32nd franchise, the Seattle Unknown franchise, at this date in the 2021-22 NHL season.
That's going to do it for this one, guys. Hope you enjoyed episode 3 of our History of the NHL docu-series. Remember to hit that like button down below and subscribe if you haven't already. If you want to know when our next episode comes out or whenever we post in general, remember to hit that notification bell on our homepage. That's it for this one. Hope you enjoyed, and bye.